We'd like to welcome viewers from across Canada and across the world to Two Canucks and a Bottle of Hooch. I am Canuck number one because I'm the older brother, older of two. And sitting in that lovely Oilers jersey just across from me, across the digital universe, is brother number two, Canuck number two. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Kevin. Canuck number two to you guys.
Really good, bro. Really good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Listen, we're I would say whiskey enthusiasts. You are quite actually schooled in whiskey, but fairly new to the game. I think maybe within the last 3 or 4 years. And we decided to start this channel because there was a dearth of Canadian whiskey information on the internet. And we thought that we'd like to share our knowledge and our tastings from a strictly Canadian point of view. Canada versus Canada tonight, I think, mostly. But Canada versus Canadian whiskeys versus other whiskeys from around the world as we go forward. So, bro, go ahead and add to that if you wish, and but also share with our viewers a special game that we've got for them today. Tell us about the game.
Well, as you pointed out, this is there is a wide variety of Canadian whiskeys that I think sometimes get a bad rap. Now, little history: you and I both grew up drinking a whiskey when we were younger, and it was always in Coke, and it was just to basically wasn't to taste the whiskey. Let's put it that way. But as we've started this journey and gone on to this tasting world whiskeys, some Scotches, some Irish, and Americans, we've, I think, sorely neglected our Canadian roots. And that's what all this is all about, is just getting together. We do this over the phone. We've talked about whiskey over the phone, and we said, let's just do it live and online and share some Canadian whiskeys with each other, against each other, and then put them against a whiskey that we like, be it a Canadian, a Scotch, an American, something that's sort of comparable in alcohol by volume and in blend. And so in this case, what we've got here is on my left, I have the quintessential Canadian whiskey, which is Crown Royal, probably the #1 selling Canadian whiskey worldwide, maybe even one of the biggest selling whiskeys worldwide in all whiskeys, but it's loved down in the States, let me tell you. The other one is the iconic Canadian Club. And so both of these two are 1 and 2 in volume sales worldwide, especially down in the States. And then I have, as a comparison, I have a Scotch, a 12-year-old Dewar's Scotch, which some say, hey, that's not fair, that's not Canadian. But what it is a blend. And that's what almost 90, I would say probably 95% of Canadian whiskeys are blends. A mixture of corn, rye, and barley. And that's exactly what the Dewar's is. And what we have here is we have 3 blinds. I've had my daughter actually poured all 3 of these. She set them out in order. I have no idea which is which. You can see that. They're all about the same color. So I have no idea. I haven't sampled. I haven't nosed. I haven't done anything. And just a little adding to your intro there, bro, was this is not so much, for me, whiskey is not so much about flavors. I mean, flavors will come out. Everybody has a different palate. And that's one of the things in my journey so far that I found is that its taste is totally subjective. So, but what I like is just, do I like the whiskey? Plain and simple. It's not like I don't want to delve into 17,000 different flavors because I can't taste that. I can't nose that. But if it smells good to me and if it tastes good to me, I really don't care.
You also, as I recall growing up, you also stuck your tongue on a frozen pole when you were young, so you can't taste the 17,000 flavors, as I recall.
More than once. More than once.
The other thing, Bud, I noticed that we were the quintessential problem we have is we stand there at the liquor store looking at the whiskeys, and they're like 80, 90, 100, 120, $300 for a bottle of whiskey. And it's like, where's the really good $35 bottle, $40 bottle, $28 bottle? We're wondering where that is too. So you and I are kind of exploring that. And like, what does that Crown Royal and Canadian Club go for a 26er?
Well, over here on this side of the Rockies, on the eastern side of the Rockies, I'm in Alberta. About $35 for a 26 or 750 mil. I've got the small one, but it goes for about $36, $39, something like that. The Canadian Club is about the same.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what's the Dewar's? What's the Dewar's worth?
Dewar's, well, here's the catch. The Dewar's is actually about $32.
Okay, so they're all in the same. They're all in the same price range, right? So it's a really kind of a cool comparison. Dewar's is a big brand, I know that. Canadian Club, very iconic. Crown Royal, very iconic. I've got the blind going here as well. I've got the blind going here as well, but I've got the Yvon Cornouaille. So it's this is a product from JP Wiser's, and this is about at $40, 40, 45 depending on where you can get it.
$45 for Aqua.
Good. So yeah. So what are we going to do? How does this blind work, my friend? We're going to nose it, then we're going to taste it, and we're going to be commenting on it. Is that right? Pretty
much. That's it. I'm going to start from my left and go to my right. And like I say, I have no idea what's what. One of the things I wanted to point out is you'll notice that my Dewar's has an age statement of 12 years. The thing about most Canadian whiskeys is that we have no idea how old some of this whiskey is in here. It's got to be at least 3 years old to be considered whiskey, but this could be 12-year-old. We could have 12-year-old whiskeys in the Canadian Club and the Crown and the Canadian Clubs and the Crown Royal. So I'm going to start out with my left. I'm going to nose them all, then taste them, and basically the decision is which tastes better.
Okay.
If we find something we like, if we find something is spicy and whatever, we can describe that. That's that goes a long way for people who are just watching this for the first time and getting new into whiskey. That's what I did when I started watching videos. Is you just learn, and you learn by examples.
Excellent, my friend. So let's go ahead. Let's pick a whiskey and let's go with it. Mine are labeled A, B, and C. So I'm going to start with the A one right here in the middle, not knowing what it is.
Well, I'm going for the left. It's got a little spice to it.
Well, boom, right off the bat, my A is just huge vanilla and big caramel. Huge vanilla, big caramel, right off the bat. Help me put the right emphasis on the correct.
On the proper syllable?
That's right. So what am I doing? My mouth is watering. It is.
You what?
My mouth is watering. It's
salivating. I don't know.
Correct. It is salivating. That's right. What a bouquet. That's absolutely spectacular.
Mm. Oh, that's smooth. I get some caramel on that one, on what I would consider my A. There's no harshness. It's harsher on the nose,
right,
than it is on the palate.
Interesting.
Sure.
Okay, I don't know which one that is. My A, I'm not sure what it is, but it's just spectacular. Like, I would buy this. I'm quite interested to see what this is. Like, I have not tasted Crown Royal or Canadian Club since I was probably 16 years old. If this is not the Yvon Cornouaille, I will be shocked, because I mean the nose is spectacular on it, so smooth going down, big vanillas, big caramel. I would say You can taste a bit of the oak as well. Nice, long, smooth finish.
Thing is, my A has a nice has an alcohol nose on it, but I don't get that on the taste.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's a question. Would you buy the A, my friend? Would you buy the A? Would you pay $30 for the A? Would you pay $35 for the A? That's a no. Pardon?
Now I'm getting like at first I get almost like a fruit on the finish on the back palate. I get a bit of fruit, but it finishes off with an alcohol. So in my past experience with some of my other whiskeys, I don't really get that. But so to me, that's probably a younger whiskey. So on to B. I got some uninvited guests in my drinks.
You must live in Alberta.
Yeah, they're called flies. All right. Ooh, this one's much. This one's much. What's the word I'm looking for? Much fuller smelling. The other one was the first one was a little thin. This has a lot of body to it. I can tell it. No, that's true. Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one. It's got a nice color. It's got a nice color. It's coming out very nice. It's got an actually all those are very nice.
Well,
very
yeah,
nice.
all of mine are about the same.
Have you seen this one? Can you see this one on the video?
Yep.
It's quite a bit different, I think, than that one, right?
Little lighter.
Yeah, quite a bit lighter. So I'm kind of interested.
Your first one's a little darker.
Yeah, very much so. And I would say that this one is very astringent on the nose. So it's going to, you get a lot of alcohol. That first one, a very big bouquet, very nice nose on it. But this one is much more subtle, very much more subtle.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, there's definitely an alcohol on there, but I'm getting some. I'm almost getting some sherry on that one.
I get a bit of a fruit, like a dried fruit too, for sure, and maybe and maybe that would be as smooth too. Quite a bit different than A for sure. Quite a bit different than A for sure. I certainly would not turn that down. And there's no need. Here's the key part. There's no need to put Coke in B, and there's no need to put Coke in A. So that's kind of a very interesting development from my perspective. So right now I know one of those two is Canadian Club and/or Crown Royal, which which is kind of shocked. This is kind of shocked the heck out of me.
Right.
For the life of me, I would never go anywhere and order a Crown Royal or a Canadian Club. But my mind is being changed here, my friend. My mind is being changed.
And that's what this is all about. Like I had preconceived notions up until a number of years ago when you and I started this journey about these two, right?
Yeah.
It was, they were just bottom shelf whiskeys, but they sell. So I mean, but right now I would pick B, the middle one. Right now, if I had to buy one of these two, it would be B.
Now it's very interesting that we've done a fair amount of blind tasting, me and you, because we really enjoy this comparison thing, because we know the mind plays tricks on our palates. So if we know the brand, we already get in our head what the taste is going to be, what the nose is going to be. And we paid $90 for a bottle or whatever we paid. It's like it's
Yeah.
pretty hard to say I don't like this. but
You're
but
exactly right.
when you
You're
do the
exactly
blind,
right.
when you do the blind tastings, it really does come to the fore. I'd like to say that it's like,
Yeah.
on. And the other thing you mentioned earlier, which I'd like to reinforce, is it just seems our experience has been on any given day we could like A more than we could like B, but
Yep.
B on a different day based on what we've eaten, what we've done that day, et cetera, B could taste much better than A too. So this is a fascinating thing about whiskeys. There's some days it seems brilliant, and some days maybe not so brilliant.
And well, I'll take that a little further because I've noticed in my own personal experience, it's not just days. It could be what you eat, and then have that same whiskey 2 hours later, and it will taste totally different. So the palate's constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
So how you wake up, what you eat the next that day, how you're feeling, the whole 9 yards. So this is why I don't mind the fact that we know what we're tasting,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what we're tasting,
Yeah.
right? I have an idea, but I don't know for sure. And that's the fun part about this, right? And this is also getting to taste whiskeys that we would never normally buy.
I
On to
just,
number three.
I just might have to buy one of these. Oh, I already did. Okay, well, I'm good. I'm good.
You might have to buy another one.
Hey, listen. The other thing that I noticed that you educated me on it though a little while ago was that as a whiskey uh, decreases, and in other words, you're drinking from farther down the bottle, what you drink in the neck might be different than what is at the bottom or even the middle of the bottle. There might be different tastes there. Is that correct? Did I catch that right?
Yes, you did. And I don't know the science behind it because I'm not a scientist, but it just everywhere I've read, and it's been my own experience too, that what they call a neck pour, which is the first part of the bottle before it reaches the shoulder, is totally different than the mid pour, the mid bottle, or the bottom. That might have something to do with the air. Who knows? I have no idea. But all I know is that I've tried a number of scotches over the last year or so, and even Canadian or other whiskeys, American whiskeys, and it's totally different the moment you get down probably midway of the bottle.
Excellent. Good.
So,
Let's do number C.
number three, or C. Ooh. This is not as astringent for me, this one.
Yeah, and I would say for me, the C is delightful. It's just a cornucopia of different scents on the nose. It's just of the three, it is the most aromatic for sure. You've got, of course, your caramels and your vanillas, but you've also got maybe some brown sugar and some fruit in there, some dried fruit, and maybe get some citrus too as well. It's really nice. I mean, you could just, yeah, you could just smell this all night long, I think.
I'm not getting a lot of smell off of it. Then again, like I say, my nosing is not as adept as some people's, but
I'm going to try rubbing this on my wife's neck, and before we go to bed tonight, just see what happens. I'm just going to try that. I'm just going to give that a go.
Okay. But there's an alcohol smell, but very, very faint. But it's quite oily. And when I had my sip, this coats the mouth wonderfully.
Hmm. And my first sip, I was a little bit disappointed. The nose was so good. The nose was so good, but when I put it in my mouth, I would say it was a little lighter on the mouthfeel than I usually like. Still lots of flavors there for sure. And
well, here's the thing too. All three of these are 40% alcohol by volume, ABV. All
That's
three of
nice.
mine anyway. I don't know about the Cornwall.
I believe it's 40 as well, my friend. I'll check.
Yeah, put your glasses on.
40, yeah.
Okay. So, and that's the other thing about Canadian whiskeys, is that the vast majority of them, especially your readily available Canadian whiskeys, for whatever reason, the distillers want to put them at 40%. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people have poo-pooed Canadian whiskeys because of their supposed blandness, right? But that could also be the greatest selling point. There's the fact that they're not harsh. And
Yeah.
the regular Joe doesn't want to drink something that's in the 50s and 60 ABVs like you get some bourbons, right?
Agreed. 100%. You know, all three of these
I
finish,
like Steve too.
all three of these finish so smoothly for me. You know, all three of these have got what it takes for me to take $40 out and pay for them too. But that's fascinating as well. So there are no losers. There's no losers. I was quite prepared to say that, you know, I didn't like one. We've done a blind tasting or two where I said I don't like that one, right? And I wouldn't buy that one. But in this particular case with these three whiskeys, they're all purchasable for sure.
I think so. I definitely I think have my order in what I prefer.
So give me your order. What do you got? What do you got them lined up right now?
What have I got? What? Sorry.
What have you got them lined up? So A, 1, 2, and 3, A, B, and C. What are your preferences? Just for now, you can do both. You can do nose and taste. You can just do taste, whatever way you want.
And for nose and taste, I go with B, my B, which is the middle one.
Yeah.
The nose is it's very fruity, dark fruits. If I don't know what kind, but like almost like a cooked fruit. And the palate is so mouth coating. Like it is so smooth going down. There's not enough O's in smooth. Let me tell you. So that's my B. And the next one for me it's got a slightly darker nose than A.
Mm-hmm.
I find A a little on the crisp side, if that's a little more ethanol or alcohol smelling.
Well, you've drank a fair amount of Dewar's in your day. Would you guess which one's the Dewar's?
Yes.
Which one would you guess is the Dewar's?
B.
B.
And I'll be totally shocked if it's C.
So is there a definitive loser in the bunch?
A.
A is the loser for you?
A is a loser for me.
And a definitive winner is the B?
B.
That would be, so you're thinking you think that the Dewar's has won out, has won the day.
I think so.
It's Canada 0, Dewar's 1.
But the thing is, I would happily buy whatever C is.
Okay.
That, and the thing is, what we don't have here, and one day I'd like to try this too, is over some ice.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's a good idea. Because that'll change the taste.
You betcha. A lot of people add water to it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, adding a drop or two of water to me doesn't do a thing. Mm-hmm. But some people add 1 or 2 drops and they can tell a whole bunch of different things. Good on them. I'm not one of these kind of guys, but every so often I don't mind having it in a rocks glass, a different type of glass. with a cube of ice,
Mm-hmm.
and it entirely changes the taste.
Excellent. Now
The
listen,
glass,
let's
the style of glass will change your taste.
now how do you know which is which? Do you have the key there somewhere?
I have a key here, right here.
Okay, let's do the big reveal over there. So just a recap is you think the middle one is Dewar's. That is your favorite for sure, but
For sure.
you'd happily buy C as well. But
Correct.
A is at the bottom of the ladder. Would you buy A?
No.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say no. If I had to only buy, if I had to only buy enough money to buy two,
Yeah,
I would buy B and C.
B and C. Okay. Let's do the big reveal. Just put the bottle right behind, closer to your Oilers jersey. Which one is which? So
Well, I will look.
here it is, the big unveil.
Wow.
Are you
That
sure?
I was not expecting that.
Oh,
That's fine.
you win. Oh, you won. That's fantastic.
I was not expecting this.
Canada Club. That's what you weren't expecting. Interesting.
I would have put money that C was Crown Royal.
Well, so this would be fun to do again, like on a different day, just to see if our palates are exactly the same. So
You bet.
very good, very good.
What do you got?
Well, first of all, I'd buy them all. I'd buy them all, and for me, they're all very close to each other. So there's no. I was trying to find the definitive winner or loser. Definitely, the one that I wanted to that I'm going to rub on my wife's neck tonight is C. The nose on C is absolutely outstanding. It's like it's got caramels and custard and citrus, and it's really is nice today. Really is working well today. I'd say the nose on A is excellent as well, but not quite as nice as C. And B is I get a big volume of alcohol with that. It's much more subtle, but still it's okay. Like it's not off-putting by far. And then as I go through, I really like B. Let me try the A. The A is great too. It's got more. I think it's got more spice to it. More spice than the B for me, but
Right.
definitely not off-putting. I would buy for sure.
I just had another sip of the Canadian Club, and I'm getting on the finish on the back end after it's all done. I'm getting some really nice light fruit. I never expected that at all. In fact, I thought these two were changed around. I would have put money that this was Canadian Club, but it's a Crown Royal.
Yeah, and I think while the C has the best nose for me, I think it's probably the least palatable in flavors. I still would buy, but with a bit, I'd buy A and B over that. And here is the key. Boy, it was stapled shut, well glued shut. And we have, and here we go. So my winner was B. Is that correct?
I believe you said so.
So the winner is Yvon Cornwallis. And C, the one I least like, but has the best bouquet, is Crown Royal. Interesting there. And A, right in the middle for me, is Canada Club.
Wow.
Now, what's fascinating for me in that is the Cornwallis is aged in bourbon and oak, right? Now, is the Canadian Club and the Crown Royal in bourbon barrels too, bud? Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's why we picked it too. So Okay.
So this is my order from favorite to least favorite.
You know, here it is, the iconic, what we're saying is the iconic Canadian brand comes in last. You wouldn't buy it, and it came in last enough. I would buy it, but not as a too ahead of it, for sure. Interesting.
I'd buy these two before I bought this.
Interesting, yeah. Very fascinating.
Very. The Canadian Club is aged in American oak barrels. Exceptionally smooth whiskey, offering hints of spice and vanilla and a clean finish and a subtle sweet oak aroma. You know what? And when I read that, and you know, about a year ago, I would have looked at it and went hooey.
Well, you know what I've learned today is perceptions can be deadly. Like my perception of CC, my perception of CR, Crown Royal, were not good. They were not good. I would walk by those things 1,000 times in the liquor store and just walk over to the Irish, and walk over to the Japanese, and walk over to the Americans, right? But I'll think twice now. I'm quite interested in, there's some upscale Canadian Club products, are there not? There's some upscale Canadian.
There's a number of different ones now. This is I don't think they call it their flagship, but this is the one that they sell the most, right?
Right.
Now, what there is they have a 12-year-old. And I think one of our next ones, one of our little future videos will be the 12-year-old Canadian Club against another Canadian 12-year-old.
Well, the Cornouailles is 12. The Cornouailles is 12 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't have two of the same ones. What's interesting to me about all of this is I paid at a Costco, I paid $28 for the Dewar's.
Yeah.
I saw in the liquor store today it's $32 normally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so $32 if you can't get the Costco. This is about $29 for a full bottle of Canadian Club. And if you just wanted an everyday sipper that you wanted to just sit down and come in and throw a cube of ice in there if you wanted to, or just put it in a glass and have a sip after a long, hard days of work, I got no problem spending $29 on a Canadian Club.
And would you buy the
$29 and I had to buy one of these, I'd buy the Canadian Club.
But if I brought over the Crown Royal, you'd still have a drink with me.
I certainly would.
Good.
But I'd probably mix it with Diet Coke. I wouldn't want to ruin the Diet Coke.
Well said, my friend. Well, so there you have it, folks. The first episode of Two Canucks and a Bottle of Hooch. I think what we've done is it looks like it's a tie. We've got Dewar's coming up on top in Alberta, but we got Canada winning in here in British Columbia. But so it's 1-1.
You bet.
Going into the next episode. Anyway, Kevin, thanks so much for spending some time with us today, and we hope the viewers enjoyed this. And you can always click that red button and subscribe, because Kevin and I are saying when we get 5 subscribers, we're going up and we're going to buy ourselves the 12-year-old Canadian Club. So all it takes is 5 subscribers, folks. Thanks so much, Kev. Don't go away. I'm going to stop recording, and we'll just chat, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.